I've actually had so many beans in the past week that you'll be very glad that we don't do this in the same room.
Oh boy, yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad about that.
It's like a fucking, it's like a train line next to a sewer in here.
Oh.
Oh. Hello and welcome to. What? Interrupting me.
Well,
Is that how we're starting already?
You left me on a weird note. I was just like, oh, your poor family.
Well, I'm in a room. There, elsewhere. Oh no, he's already walked in. We've made it into 49 seconds, and he's already barged his way out of the fucking room.
Troublemaker, get lost.
Away.
Aye, away you go.
He's fine. He's running about.
That's Craig's slave. I'm just kicking about.
He will be one day.
Anyway.
Hello and welcome to episode 4 of Dead End Friends podcast. To peel the curtain back a little bit, this is Friday morning or Friday nearly afternoon we're recording this. We started recording this last night at about 8 o'clock and it all went to shit. So this is the second attempt at episode 4.
Yep, it all went wrong. But you know what? Sometimes that's what happens. Life is unpredictable.
Yes. We're hydrated, we're alive, we're all good. We'll start again and then hope that it doesn't fall apart again.
Well, we're all falling apart. It's fine. But anyway, we made it a month. So a whole month of this.
We have.
Who'd have thunk it?
That is a proper shockerino. That
yeah.
We're now 4 episodes deep. And we've not ran out of things to say yet.
We've not been given any free stuff yet. But we are 4 episodes deep. So I guess, we'll start small. And then we'll get there.
We'll get there eventually. I mean, you did hit me to the fact that we have one listener in the great country of China.
We do indeed. Shout out my boy Barnes. Big Arm Barnes.
The fucking main man. Shout out Big Barnes.
He's obviously not Chinese.
Definitely not. One of the most Scottish men of all time.
Yep. Oh my god, will you tell your kid to bugger off?
Go away.
Oh my god. You honestly just can't get the staff nowadays. This is ridiculous.
He's supposed to be producing. He's supposed to be Googling stuff for us and stuff, but he's not figured it out yet. I need to get him a bigger screen. He's now playing with a box. That's just that. That's what this episode's going to be. We're recording this during the day when he's here, so that's just what
it's on the fly.
Is going to be.
Anyway, my name is Gary Gordon. So let's start this properly. We've not done that.
Not done that. My name is Craig Jemison, and that one that you can hear in the background is Mac. So
does Mac have any middle names?
He's got 2 actually. I'm going to make sure I get this right because we did how sometimes when people have kids they make a kind of thank you card thing they give to people. So we did one for Luna and then we did one for Mac as well. Just be like, thank you for giving us a gift when he was born. And I did it myself, I designed it and I fucking got his name wrong. My own child wrote it down and then printed them and then sent them out, and it was a week later Emma looked at it, she was like, that's not his name.
Oh my god.
So his actual name is Mac James Murray Jemison, and on the card I wrote Mac Murray James Jemison. So
also,
fucked it up.
Do you
entirely.
have it written on the wall?
Yes, I'll get the card. I have the card here. There it is there. So I completely fucked up the boy's name.
Oh my god.
There you go. Mac Murray James Jemison. So it's the wrong way round.
I think that sounds better. I'm just going to keep calling him that.
I mean, I think, if the boy ever decides to, be an actor or something, Mac Murray is a hell of
yeah, that's what I was thinking. And also, kids could call him, Eminem, Or it would be cool.
Would it?
I don't know. Nah. No, it's not. Do you have any middle names?
Yeah, I've got my granddad's name. My granddad.
Oh, you do? Yeah, you do.
It's called Pedro Peter. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have any.
Do you have any?
No, I'm just double G, boy. You know?
Double G. The dead
Double
name
G.
of Gary. How does it feel to have a dead name?
It feels good. The last one apparently was around about 1992, which is when I
Oh,
was
really?
born. So,
Oh,
yeah.
shit.
And I was born like the last half, so I'm kind of like, I could be one of the last ones. You know,
You
like
could
in
be the
Highlander, when they're
last.
like, they're like, there could be only one. I'm just gonna hunt down like other Garys, not
All the
immortals.
other
I'm
Garys.
still gonna cut their heads off, but it's just
Take
gonna
the
be
power
me.
source.
Ah.
That's crazy
Yeah.
to think, actually. You could be the final Gary that was born. I mean, do you think the name Gary would ever do like a resurgence? You know how like some names kind of make their way back in? Like I know a couple of kids called like Otis and stuff, which is quite old fashioned. So do you
I
think
quite
Gary
like
would
that
ever
name,
have
though.
like a rebirth?
I don't know, so there would have to be like a really cool Gary, like other than myself, like doing something of worth. Because as cool as this is, you know, it is what it is.
Gary Barlow. Hello.
We'll ignore that. I'm going to ignore that. But
Barry
like, there would have
Garlow.
to be like Barry Garlow. There would have to be something. There would have to be something happen by a Gary that made people want to call their kids that because it was in the news and all that kind of stuff. You know, like the last Gary that was in the news was Gary Glitter, and he didn't do anything for the name.
He
you
ruined
know?
it for everyone.
He ruins it for everyone. So there can't be any Garys because of that nonsense. Class. Absolutely class.
But that would actually be quite interesting to look at, actually, is to see when these kind of events happen, like serial killers and fucking diddlers and stuff, when they start going on the news, how quickly the name dips. Because when you think about it, like, what's the other guy's, like, the name Theodore has probably disappeared because of fucking Ted Bundy.
Yeah.
What's the other guy that was like eating people and like saving their heads
Man,
in his fridge and shit?
You know, this is not my lane. I am the softest person alive, and serial killers scare me.
We need to get
they're
Johnny
real
on the
people.
podcast for this.
Yeah, Johnny knows more than I do. Like, he gets like a weird boner about it, and I'm just like, whatever, you know. As long as they don't come near me, you can
Yeah.
make as many documentaries as you want. Not gonna watch them, but you can make as many as you want.
Emma's quite into them, actually. Like she'll sit and watch them quite a lot. Like we'll like, because we sometimes work in the same room together when we're working, and she'll have the TV on. I'd have my back to it, so I'm not really watching it. But I'll just kind of hear like, you know, that horrible, ominous music. So I'll just be sitting, fucking typing away, pretending I'm doing some kind of report, and then you just hear like, shing, boing, dong, this horrible ass music, and I'll just turn around. It's just like
She watching kung fu movies. What the fuck was that?
she's watching Kung Fury. So you just turn around and it's like a recreation of like one of the fucking serial killer murders. I'm just like, oh cool, so that's happening at 10 o'clock in the morning.
That's too early. You know, I would say that any time of the day is too early to be watching that. It's really weird.
I actually have completely drawn a blank about the guy that I was thinking of that like stores like stored heads in fridges and stuff.
Is it Ed
Jeffrey
Gein?
Dahmer.
Is that the
Jeffrey
one?
Dahmer.
No.
I think Ed Gein, is that not the guy
Did
that
he
like
eat
made
people?
lampshades? I think Ed Gein did. Jeffrey
Was
Dahmer
he
definitely did.
Was he the clown guy?
No, that was John Wayne Gacy.
Oh my god! Why? There's so many. There's
And
so
they're
many.
all in America.
Yeah, thank God. Like, I mean,
Well, there's a few here. There was that boy. What was the guy that fucking David Tennant played? Just you see David Tennant's face plastered everywhere. Just this
a
fucking
big Dez. Don't know his
Days,
actual
that's
name.
what it was. Yeah, they always do hear the stories coming from the Americas, but there must have been a few. There must have been a few here that kind of went under the radar because we were all just like too steaming to really pay attention to what was going on, especially in olden times. I actually
Yeah.
saw something recently. It was a couple of months ago that there was like like years and years worth of scientific research went into saying that lead poisoning was actually very prevalent in the days where it was like the highest number of serial killers in America, at least, and they're connecting lead poisoning because there was so much lead in paint and pencils and everything. All these people were constantly like breathing in the fumes. That is actually linked to severe mental problems, mental issues that could have actually been the gateway for a lot of these serial killers to do what they did.
Wow. So
Yeah.
the gateway drug to killing people was drinking water from your taps and HB pencils. Cool.
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
Don't drink the water, kids.
Come to Scotland. It's actually decent.
Oh, we've got the best tap water of all time.
Of all time.
Sorry, the rest of the world.
Not going to find any lead in here.
There's no lead in this pencil, you know? There might be, who knows?
Yeah, it might be somewhere. But yeah, that's always a nice kind of background noise for when I'm trying to work. Is just listening to crazy people be crazy.
Do you
Just
like
blows my mind.
actually watch telly though? Because I don't
Me-
watch the telly. Like, I don't know. I the things that I watch like Bake Off.
Nice.
But I won't even watch it like on the telly. I'll just use like the app on the PlayStation or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
but I feel so out of it. You know, like
Yeah.
everyone's like watching like Line of Duty and all that kind of stuff, and I'm just like, don't know what that is. Like
Yeah.
I just don't have the brain capacity to watch like an actual TV show.
Yeah.
I've been watching like the Marvel stuff because that's kind of something that I am interested in. But every time something comes on the telly, they're like, "Oh, you watching this?" And I was like, "No, I don't even know what that is. Like, is that like a superhero or that? Like, what's the deal?"
Something I'm interested in.
Yeah.
Can somebody in it fly? If not, I'm not interested. I don't want to watch
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't care about Martin Compston like putting on a terrible accent.
it. Oh man, Emma's got some choice things about Martin Compston because he's from down where Emma's from. Every time she sees him, she's just like, "Guy's a dick."
I think he's a dick. But my only reason for thinking he's a dick is he's a Celtic fan. So that's literally my prejudice is all on that. I'm just like, nah, fuck him.
You've
Fuck
actually
him, man.
you've based your entire opinion on his whole personality and persona off the fact that he's a Celtic fan.
He would
Just
do
'cause
the
he's a
same to
Tim.
me though, because that's what Scottish football.
It's just how
like.
it works, isn't it? It's the most.
Yeah.
It's the thing about I've never understood about Scottish football and that whole thing. I've never been able to get into Scottish football for that particular reason, and also the fact that I don't care about sports particularly.
No,
I don't really
no.
care about a group of men trying to get a ball in one place and then another group of men trying to stop them from getting that ball in the place. I don't know. It doesn't interest me. But yeah, that has always completely bewildered me because like I came up with like some of my family members were big like Rangers fans and a lot of my friends were big Celtic fans and their family were big Celtic fans, and it was just like I was just kind of sitting in the middle, just like I don't really care. Like my brother was a massive Rangers fan, and then my best pal was a Celtic fan, and every day they would ask me like, "Oh, so who are you supporting today?" It was it was Celtic yesterday, and it's Rangers today. And I'm like, I don't care, don't watch it.
Yeah,
But-
no bothered. Just no bothered.
It absolutely blows my mind how you could meet somebody, the nicest person ever, helps you out so much, does everything for you, just brand new, and then they find out like, oh, you're a Celtic fan, I'm a Rangers fan, and then they just completely write you off.
That's it. Game over.
Game over. Do you have that mindset?
No. When I found out Shanna was a Celtic fan, that was kind of like make or break. But nah. Decided against her. She's actually alright. She's sound.
Yeah. Well, she's now a Ginger. She's joined the Ginger family.
She has joined the Ginger family.
Yeah.
She's trying to like find some Irish roots, you know,
What in her
just
hair?
so she can say so she can say she's an actual Celtic fan, you know. But
That's all it is.
it's fine. She looks hot as fuck, so it's all good.
That's all that matters at the end of the day, man.
That's all that matters.
I mean, I was like, my entire childhood I was called Shuda because my whole family, aside from my dad and my biggest brother, are ginger. So all of my brother's mates called me Should Have Been Ginger. So my
Shoulda.
whole childhood was me called Shuda.
I love that so much. Shoulda.
Every time I saw them, alright, Shuda! And then after they kind of got over that, they started calling me Minnie because they were mates with my big brother. Even though my big brother is the wee one, they still called me Minnie. My brother's friends were the worst. The worst.
Those are a couple of good nicknames, though. I'm into that.
Yeah.
Shoulda. Shoulda is a good a good nickname. I like that a lot. Like, because it's it just like it means nothing, you know. But like
but there's still a
if I
story
introduced
behind it.
you, yeah, but like, if I was to like, oh, this is Shoulda,
Yeah.
people would be like, all right, how's it go? And they would just call you Shoulda. Then they'd find out your name was Craig, and you'd be
Yeah.
like,
What?
where does that come from? And then you got to tell a story. That's the best kind of nickname. Best kind of nickname.
And then
My only nickname is like Gaz. You know.
Oh, I don't like Gaz. I don't think I've ever called you Gaz.
My
I'll call
dad
you
called me
Gigi.
Gaz.
Oh, does
He
he?
call me Gigi. I mean, he doesn't call me all the time, but he has done. Like, he was the person I remembered calling me it.
Aye. Was he has?
Duncan and Johnny call me it now. They've
Oh,
called
really?
me Gaz. Yeah.
Right. That's just. Do you think it's just a thing we're all getting older, and it's just like I feel like that's quite an old-fashioned thing now that we're all like
to have a
almost-
nickname?
Yeah, not to be called Gaz. I just feel like Gaz is quite like old. You meet that guy in like a Rangers pub, just about to go to Ibrox. Sorry, this is Gaz. Do you know what I mean? I feel like that's quite
Yeah.
an old-fashioned thing. Maybe that's just what it is. We're
Yeah.
all getting older, so we're just like we'll just start calling him Gaz now because we need to accept the fact that we're gonna die soon.
Well, it ties into my cooking show that I'm going to start one day.
What is that?
Yeah, it's called Cooking with Gaz.
Cooking
Like,
with Gaz.
because it sounds like gas, you know.
Oh,
I've got the logo and all that.
That's so good. I love that.
I love it.
Cooking with Gaz. That's
Cooking with
fucking
Gaz.
brilliant.
One day it'll
But I
happen.
mean, like have you always liked cooking? Is this something? Because I don't feel like this is something that, like you do send me a lot of dishes now. Just when you've made something, you'll send me and you'll tell me like what you've made and stuff. Because I'm actually quite interested in it. But have you always been into cooking, or is this quite a new thing?
Yeah, no. I've always quite enjoyed like just making myself things. You know, it's like that old thing where you're like, oh, you'll enjoy something more if you make it yourself. You know,
Yeah.
which is kind of true. Like if you put a little bit of love into it, you know, like it does make you enjoy things a bit more.
Yeah.
More recently, I've enjoyed it like more than I ever have because I've always been like adventurous and stuff, and I don't actually care about like I'm not fussy. I'll try anything.
Yeah.
So now I've been looking at like all these recipes, and I'm like, oh, I probably could make that. You know, like I'm gonna try this, that, and the next thing. So I just like being able to like sit down with a meal and go, yeah, I did that, and it's tasty. You know, like. And it's quite calming as well. Like, you know, like I like making sauces. I don't know why that's the thing that I've kind of gravitated towards, but I quite enjoy just putting everything in. You know, making it go from like this super runny, thin sauce to nice, reduced, thick, juicy. You know, that's what it's all about, man. Like, just
Can I actually ask you, how do you reduce yours? My sauce is always fucking runny, and I don't know why.
So what do you do that's wrong? Well,
I don't know. I'm asking you.
Well, tell me what you do.
Well, I'll usually just use like tinned tomatoes and stuff. So it'll just be like tinned cherry or like peeled plum or chopped tomatoes or something, and
Yes,
I'll
I
cook
understand.
it, herbs and spices and stuff, and then I'll cook it.
But how long are you cooking it for?
I don't know. I don't really time it. I just cook it until I think it's like hot enough.
Oh god. Well, this is the thing. So when you reduce something, when you're reducing like sauces or whatever, you're taking the water out of it.
Right.
So like you're trying to evaporate the water. So you can either do it really quickly by like banging the heat right up and letting the steam come out of it. But you then run the risk of it tasting a little bit better. Or you can go the opposite direction, simmer it for a long time, and just let the steam kind of do its thing. It'll escape on its own. But that obviously takes longer if you're doing it like on a high heat. Just like make sure you're stirring it and all that. Make sure you're tasting it to make sure it's. What I actually do is I take it off the heat every now and then. Take it off the heat, just let it rest, and I put it back on the heat and I let it just do its thing. I don't know if that's right. I've obviously not had any sort of training on like how to cook other than like watching YouTube chefs. But,
watching Matty Matheson.
Yeah, pretty much, you know. And I think that's why I quite like Matty Matheson, because he is a relatable guy, you know, like obviously he's been a chef for a very, very long time, and he has worked hard at that, but he's still at his core he's just a bummy hardcore guy, you know.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I quite like him. So he's got like a couple of shows on YouTube where it's like homestyle cookery and just a dash and all that. Like homestyle cookery is quite fun because it's not trying to be fancy. It's just like, here's a meal you can make in an hour for your family. And I think that's quite fun, which is it's kind of why I wanted to do like the whole like cooking show thing eventually, is because a lot of these shows that you watch, or a lot of the videos you watch, they aren't relatable and they don't feel like you can actually do it in the house.
Yeah.
Because it's fancy, isn't it? Like a lot of them, like a lot of them try to make it fancier than it is. And a lot of it as well, they give you like the ingredients for a family of 4 or 4 servings, you know. Whereas like I think mine would just be like focusing on single servings or 1 or 2 servings, like, because let's face it, that's how many people a lot of people are cooking for, is themselves or one other.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, obviously, if you want to cook for a family of 4, just multiply.
Double
like,
it.
You do the maths. I'm not doing that. So I think I just enjoy cooking, basically. Like I quite like it. It's just because I like food. Like I'm just a fat pie. Like
that is like the core of it, isn't it?
Yeah, like I'll try anything, you know. Like food is definitely one of my love languages. If I was to like cook for you, it means that, you know, you're the shit in my eyes. So like I just want to feed people. I want to make them feel good. I want to give them a full belly, you know. I don't want to I'm not a feeder, but like I want to like make you happy with food.
Yeah, you want to feel nice and warm on the inside as well as the outside.
It's intimate, you know, like it's nice. Like there's a little bit of me in there. Like not actually, because I think I'd get shut down for that. But like, you know what I mean? Like I've put a lot of time into it. Like I've thought, oh, this person will really enjoy this because they like this, that, and the next thing. So if I'm thinking that way about you, I fucking love you. You know, like I remember the first time I cooked for Shanna it was an absolute train wreck.
Nice.
So I'm going to blame it on being hungover, because the night before was when I was actually meant to cook for her, but we went to the pub and we got wrecked. And then we were in the taxi home. And I looked at her, I was like, we're getting pizza. We got home and I was like, right, I'm going to go take off my boots. So come downstairs and we'll order pizza. I went upstairs. Like 20 minutes later, she came upstairs. She was like, "You alright?" And I was like, "You're gonna have to take these boots off for me. I can't take them off." So she took my shoes off for me. And made pizza. The next day, like we went a wander and all that kind of stuff. And it was nice. We became human beings again. Yeah. And I went and got all this stuff. I was just gonna make a fajitas because I was like, you know what, fajitas are stress free. You know, you bung everything in a pan, you fire the spices in, you let it do its thing. Mwah. Chef's kiss. So I did all that. I was making like Shanna's vegan, so I was making it with like baked aubergines. That was like the meat component, or like the filling, you know. Yeah. So that was fine. And then we were like, oh, do you know what else I could do? A bit of haggis, like sprinkled through it. So we got the haggis. So baking the aubergine, all good. Frying up the rest of the vegetables, the sauce, and all that kind of stuff. And cut us up a little bit of the haggis so I could like just bung it in the microwave, like just to heat it up. Is this
a vegan haggis?
Well, like a veggie haggis, yeah. Like
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Oh man, it's actually really nice. Like
really good.
It has like seeds and stuff in it, but you don't care. It's nice. It tastes like haggis. So yeah, I cut up a couple of bits of the haggis, mashed it in a bowl, and I was like, right, I'll stick that in the microwave. And I put it in the microwave, bunged it on, and then I went and just sat in the living room for like 5 minutes, just like we were watching. That's Selling Sunset.
No idea what that is.
It was basically like Desperate Housewives, but it was like real estate. They were like selling like all these like.
Right, is that the thing on Netflix?
Aye, like $45 million homes, you know. Like I didn't really care about it, but then I got like suckered in, you know. Like I'm a sucker for trash reality.
Yeah.
But we were sat there, and then I was like, "Here, you smell burning." I was like, "Oh my god, the aubergine." So I ran in, opened up the oven, no smoke, no nothing. I was
Nothing.
like, "What the fuck?" So I took the aubergine out anyway, like just in case, turned off the oven.
Yeah.
And then kind of wandered back through, and I was like, "Nah, I can still smell it." Shanna came wandering in. She was like, "Gary, oh my god, the microwave!" And I turned round, the microwave just had smoke like billowing out of it. So I ran over, unplugged it from the wall, opened the door, and like the inside of it was just like plastered brown, like the haggis had burnt. The plate that I'd put it on had like cracked and smashed and everything in the microwave. I was
Oh
like,
my
what
God.
what did I do wrong? How'd you mess up like putting something in the microwave? It's the microwave, you know?
Yeah.
Like you hit it for 30 seconds and it does its thing. Realised what I did was cut up a couple of slices, put it into the microwave for what it said on the back you should do for the whole serving, for the entire thing of haggis. So it was like 7 or 10 minutes for a haggis this size, and I was like,
Yeah.
right, sounds like 7 minutes, 10 minutes, sound. Put it in, and it just like totally cremated it, burnt it to bits. I was just like, Jesus.
I can't believe it made the plate explode.
Well, it's
That is
radiation, isn't it?
insane.
Like it's microwaves, you know? Like,
Microwaves, baby.
it's microwaves.
We've not had a microwave for years. Ours exploded. Ours did something similar, but it was the plug that went. It wasn't the fuse. It was like the actual like the whole fucking plug just like evaporated. I don't know what happened. I can't remember.
Well, that's a
who
normal
was even
thing.
using
Like
it.
that sounds like a normal thing, you know? Like what I did was just me being stupid, you know?
Yeah.
But so what was supposed to be an easy, stress-free meal
Yeah.
ended up costing me 75 quid for a new microwave. And I was just like, oh, should have just got pizza again.
Yeah. Was
Actually,
this
should've just got
was
pizza
this in
again.
your parents' house as well?
Mm.
So
Yeah,
you
my
had
mum
to
and
buy a
dad's
new
microwave.
for your mum and dad. Oh man.
Yeah.
How long did
That's
was
fine.
that like a pure family heirloom microwave? You know how there's some families out
No,
there
it-
that had that
it
microwave
wasn't
for like
like that.
fucking 40 years.
To be fair, I did them a favour. Like I got them a real nice microwave that we don't actually know how to use.
75 quid for a microwave is like, that's top dollar.
Well, to be fair, it was the one that my mum wanted. She was going to
Nice.
buy it, and I was like, nah, I made a mess of this.
Yeah.
Have the microwave.
I broke
honestly.
it.
Man, it was so stupid. It was honestly the dumbest thing, but it was just, it was fun.
Yeah, it's one of those stories that like you and Shanna will always kind of look back on fondly, you know? Like Emma and I have
yeah,
a lot
like-
of those.
Yeah.
It's just like
Those
those
stories are
stories that just stick out in your mind from like kind of when you first got together and stuff. Like me and Emma always talk about like our like favorite date we ever went on, because like I was never really a big dater. I never went on like dates. Usually like my girlfriends that I had previous to Emma were usually like people I knew, like they were my friends for a long time, and then we
Yeah,
ended up
yeah.
kind of seeing each other and getting together and stuff. So like Emma was the first girl that I didn't know previously. I knew of her. I knew of her through another person, but we'd never like properly met and had an actual conversation. And we followed each other on Tumblr, the goat Tumblr. And I remember sending her a message on Tumblr, and then kind of talking back and forth, ended up getting each other's numbers, and then asked her out on a date, and then kind of the rest is history. But we always talk about like this favourite date we ever went on was like, we were staying at her place because she lived in Byers Road at the time, in the West End, and we got up like super early. I mean, I say super early, it was super early for back then. We were up on like a Saturday morning at like, we were out the door by like 10. Back then, that was early. Now, early is fucking 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
So we were up and we were out at like 10 o'clock. And we just went to the Botanic Gardens. We were just kind of sitting having some breakfast. We were like, do you want to just go and get some drinks and we'll just sit in the park? So we ended up getting absolutely fucking steaming by like 12 o'clock. Absolutely steaming. And then we stoated back down towards Emma's flat and stopped off and got a Chinese from, I can't remember what it's called, this gnarly wee one in Byers Road, but it's just, nothing particular happened, but it's just one of those like really fond memories that we always look back on of just like, I think it's just, it's so fond in our mind because it was like when we had freedom, being able to get up and go to the park at 10 in the morning and get pissed and be back in bed by like 3 in the afternoon because we're so steaming with a fucking takeaway from the Chinese down the street.
Hungover by 8 o'clock at night.
yeah. Putting the TV on and watching terrible fucking, what was it like that? It was the summer of like 2016 or something. No, it wouldn't have been 2016 because that was after Luna was born. 2013. So it was like fucking like Daft Punk and Pharrell was on like the music channels and shit.
Oh, Get Lucky. Here we go.
Yeah. That's the one of those songs that like reminds us of that time. But I like, just there are those particular memories like that one with you and Shanna. Like that'll always stick out, you know?
Yeah, that is so funny, man. Just dumb.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just remember I was so bummed out afterwards, you know. I was just like, I'm an idiot, man. I can't believe this. Like I was like proper stressed, and she was like, "Gonna shut up, like, stop
Just
being an
not-
ass."
Just
I was
not
like, "No, I
taking any
wanted
of
it to
your
be
shit.
perfect for you. I wanted it to be perfect for you." And she was just like, "Hi, cool, whatever. Like, I don't care." Like,
That is a like Shanna is definitely a much different pace to you. Like Shanna's very just kind of chilled out. Whereas you like to tell people you're chilled out, but you're like you know in the Avengers, right? When Bruce Banner finally arrives on a little schooner in the final battle scene, and
you
then
want to know my secret?
Captain, exactly. You are the Hulk of stress. You like to tell people, you like people to think you're chilled out and relaxed, but you're constantly strung the fuck out, and you're just at fucking maximum 24/7, and you just hide it well. That's all it is.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if that's true, actually. Like, I am. Don't laugh.
Right, go.
Don't laugh at me.
Prove me wrong.
I mean, look at how I'm sat right now. I'm chill. Look at this. Look at me.
I'm the most chilled guy out ever. What do you mean? I'm so worked up. What are you talking about?
The entire time I've been sat speaking, I've been like grinding my teeth. Like, oh god, I can't believe this. No, I think I am chill. I just have my moments where I'm stressed, and then those moments linger. So I'm
Right.
not stressed out, but I'm not stressed out about the thing I'm stressed out about. I become stressed out about being stressed out.
Right. You get stuck in your head. It's like a vicious
I get-
cycle.
Yeah, it's like we said, like way back 4 weeks
Way
ago.
back for
Like I am trying my best to like not get stuck in my head anymore, you know, like because what good does it do you? So I have definitely in the last like, oh, it's not even an achievement, like 3 months, like being more chill than I've ever been, you know, because I'm
Yeah.
just like whatever, like
Yeah.
because there's some things you just can't change, you know,
Yeah.
and there's some things that aren't what they are, you know, like your head just makes up these crazy scenarios because sometimes your
Yes.
brain's stupid, you know.
Yeah.
I was like flicking through like reels on not TikTok, Instagram the other day, and one of like John Mayer's ones came up, and he's like sitting like playing guitar, and he's like, there's the way it is, and there's the way it seems, and I'm willing to bet that 99% of your problems are based on how it seems.
Oh.
You need to like get yourself a friend who you trust. It pops up and it says mine is Jensen. And then when things seem a little bit crazy, you just ask your friend, "How is it?"
Yeah.
And when they tell you it's all right, just believe them. And I
Yeah.
was like, I get that because you're my Jensen, right?
Who's
You-
Jensen? First of all,
Just John Mayer's pal. I don't fucking know. Like, you know,
Jensen Ackles.
his body might be a wonderland. We never know. But you're the guy that I go to, and I'm like, here, and then you're like, shut up, man. Like, you're actually just like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, cool, I'm being an idiot, right? Okay,
Yeah.
and then that's me. Like, that's all I really need. I just need a gentle shove in the right direction, like just to get me out of it. So I don't think I'm stressed out all the time, because I'm not. As much as my hair is definitely going grey and I'm discovering more wrinkles every single day, that it could be stress, but I'm trying to tell myself it's not stress, because then I'll get stuck in my head about it, and then I'll end up stressed out, and I'll end up with a full head of grey hair by Sunday.
Yeah, well, like me, pretty much. Well, I mean,
pretty much.
Yeah. I'm glad that you're kind of working on that. Like, I really am. It's nice to hear, because like we all have those days where you turn something into something so much bigger than it actually is, and your head just completely scrambles.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's great that you've kind of that's what you do. I think that's like a huge part of kind of helping yourself and fixing yourself. Like, you are aware that that's what you do, because there's a lot of people that are just so unaware of themselves that they'll dive so deep into the fucking fake reality that they make in their own head that becomes their actual reality, and that's where shit gets really scary, because that's where you meet people that will like completely disregard you as a person because of the idea that they've put in their head of you, and that is just terrifying to me. That
it's like Martin Compston being a Tim. Like, I know I hate
Call back.
No, I get what you're saying. Like, the idea of being, I think the idea of how we're perceived definitely stresses us out.
Yeah. As
much as we try to not let it.
Yeah.
But it's a human condition. We can't help it.
Yeah, you still like most people, not everyone, but most people like to be liked, and most people like to be liked more than others. Like, I know I will get stuck in my head if I think I have done something wrong. So if I say something, like I actually do it with you when I'm texting you sometimes. Like, if I think I have like crossed the line with anything I say, because like we rib on each other all the time, right? And if I ever think I've like crossed the line and said something, it will eat me up that whole day. And see if I like, there's like, I can't remember an actual example of it, but there was one time where I text you something and then you didn't reply because you were busy, because you're a human being doing things like going out and doing stuff, and like that whole day that's all I thought about was what I had said in that text.
I mean, you're an idiot, but what a sweetheart. I mean, this is the thing. Like, me and you have never fell out.
No,
we've been we've never been on the verge. We've had disagreements about things. Like,
but I think that's why we work, because we can disagree on things, but then respect each other's opinion. You know?
Yeah, like, I don't think there's never really been a moment where we've had to be like, right, shutting this down. there kind of was the other day, but it wasn't like a big thing. Like, I was just having a weird day.
Yeah.
I was just having a weird day, and I wasn't really like enjoying being who I am. Every time I looked in the mirror, I wanted to punch the mirror, you know. And like, I sent you like, it was like a screenshot of like my camera roll. I
pinpointed one thing.
You pinpointed something, and I was like,
have pinpointed.
I was like, here, how about we don't right now, because I might actually just jump onto the Clyde, you know. So like it, but you know, we create boundaries, like, and I think that's really important. Usually we don't have boundaries. There's nothing that is really like off topic, which I quite enjoy. But yeah, I think it's just normal to like do that.
I think there's things being off topic, and then there's things like, it's not that it's off topic, I'd just rather you didn't joke about it. If you want to talk about it, then let's have a conversation, but I'd rather you just didn't take the piss. Like, I think that's where we lie. We don't have like a bit that's like, oh no, that's off limits, you can't speak about it at all. It's like, no, I'd rather you didn't take the piss about that, but I'm happy to talk about it and be normal about things.
We break it down for sure.
Yeah, and that's quite a nice flow we have. I think, like, There isn't anything that is particularly off topic. I think that's why like we've been friends for so long. Like, because you're right, we've never had something that has caused like proper friction between us. And I
No.
always like kind of consider you as my kind of rock outside of my family. You're the kind of guy that I would go to about everything. And
Yeah, 100%. You're the exact same for me. Like it's nice that we've always had that. And it
Yeah.
happened quite quickly because we didn't really know each other before we knew each other. Like
yeah,
that made no sense. We didn't know each other before we knew each other. All right. But you know what I mean. Like before,
Yeah,
like we knew of each other, but when we
Yes.
got to know each other, it happened very quickly.
yes, absolutely, man.
There was even like way back in the band's infancy, there was times where we had to make difficult decisions, and it was like one or the other, and I was like, well, obviously it's you. Like every time, like it was just how it, like whatever you said, I went with because
Yeah.
it was just easier that way. Like not easier, but it was also the thing that I wanted to.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, we're the OG. I mean, if Rainfalls is still a thing after the pandemic and stuff, like, we'll still be the OG. We've been there since day one, still doing it. As much as Johnny and
That's it.
Sam are as much of a part of Rainfalls as anyone else, like, we're still the OG. We've been doing it for so long and still have not figured it out, man.
And that's fine, because we do what we do. We
Yeah.
still
We
we
love
have
it.
fun with it.
We absolutely love it. Like there's
Yeah.
so like a lot of my fondest memories outside of the family and the kids is directly related to stuff that's happened with Rainfalls. Even though like in the grand scheme of things we might not have done a lot, but it doesn't mean that I've not fucking loved like every minute of it.
But we did what we set out to do with it, which was just play a couple of shows and have some fun,
Yeah,
And we
for sure.
and it touched some people, which is
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
It's always what we want music to be. There's that I know of 2 tattoos in the world that relate to our band.
Do it?
Yeah, someone has lyrics. The other one has the plague doctor from one of our t-shirts tattooed on.
Actual? I didn't know
Yeah.
that. Holy shit.
Yeah, no names, but like there's
Yeah.
yeah,
I didn't know that. That's so cool.
yeah. It's sick.
That is really cool. I mean, like,
And that's for a band that have done nothing, like
yeah,
like nothing, like quote unquote nothing.
yeah, nothing
we-
of note that would be on a Wikipedia page. But
Yeah,
personally,
we bummed around and had fun.
I had loads of fun, so much fun. Like, there's one story that I was actually thinking about the other day. I think it was actually from the same trip that I spoke about 2 episodes ago, or whatever it was, when we were in Aberdeen. So Aberdeen was like the one night of the 3 or 4 shows, whatever we did over that weekend, where we actually like went out. Was that in Aberdeen? Am I remembering that correctly? We were staying in the hostel.
It was in Aberdeen, but if it's the story I think you're gonna tell, different trips.
Right, okay. I might be wrong, and if I tell the story that I'm thinking of and it's not the one you can tell, then you can tell yours so I can remember it as well. Because I've got the worst memory, so I don't remember everything. But the one that sticks out the most was when we were in Aberdeen and we were staying in the hostel and we decided to go out for the night. And I don't know Aberdeen that well, so I didn't really know what I was getting into. And then obviously the guy that brings it up every time, Johnny, mentioned, fuck it, why don't we go to a strip club? Just like, okay. And we found
This
one.
isn't the same story I thought you were gonna tell.
Cool. Well, you can tell yours. So I remember we took a stroll, found where one was, and me and Jim, who's a guy who used to be in the band for anyone that doesn't know, we both walked in together, and I remember just watching you and Johnny kind of wander in. And I just remember me and Jim just looked at each other at the same time and went, nope, and walked out. We made it about 7 seconds inside the strip club and then ended up going down the street for a kebab.
Man, I remember what happened after that. Like one of the girls working like came over and she was like talking to me and she was like, "Oh, where have your friends gone?" And I was like, "Oh, they've gone to get chips and cheese."
Yeah.
Like, because that's where
Yeah.
yous were going. And
Naturally.
she was like, "You're not going?" And I was like, "Nah, I'm just gonna hang out." Like, She was like, yeah, you need a diet. And I was like, what? Sorry? And then she went, oh, a diet of pussy. And I was like, ugh. But I stuck around because like the majority of the group was like hanging around. And I was like, I felt pretty uncomfortable, if I'm being honest. Like, I didn't know that I would feel that way, but whatever. Like, I didn't really enjoy it too much, but I was just like, this is such a weird vibe. Like, there was like the thing that sticks out the most to me about that like entire place was there was a guy cutting about with 2 jackets on.
So hold on. So you're in a strip club, you're surrounded by strippers and gorgeous women, and then also probably some incredibly creepy men floating around as well. But the thing that you pinpointed in the middle of a strip club with the glitter and the lights and the music was the fact that there was a guy there wearing 2 jackets.
Yeah, because they were 2 like massive North Face jackets, and it was roasting in there. I was like, "What are you doing? Like, this is ridiculous." I hated that. I really didn't enjoy it. Actually, I thought I would enjoy it.
Yeah,
but
you go in with an open mind because you're just like,
yeah,
that's the only time I've ever been in one.
Yep.
And you do go in just being like, like it's something I've not done before. Fuck it, we'll go in and see what it's like. 7 seconds, I was like, nope, back down the stairs, can't do it.
Chips and cheese ahoy. Also, halfway through you telling that story, the window cleaner appeared at my window, and I was just like, I don't know if you saw my face change.
All right, Jim, how you doing?
It's a new window cleaner. I'd never seen him before. He was a young boy, new to the trade.
Young man.
Play on these stripes, you know. He's left a couple of streaks, but I'll no take out with his boss.
It's fine. He'll get there. He needs to learn the tricks. So
my story of Aberdeen
what was the story?
Was way different.
Right.
My story of Aberdeen was when we were there with holding absence, and it was like the height of the summer, and we drove up in the van, and like it was me, Duncan, and Johnny in the front of the van.
Always, I'm always in the back.
And the 3 of us were sat up front, taps off, because it was scorching on the way up. You know, the A9 was just belting down these like amazing rays. We were soaking it up. Yeah. We got there, we loaded in and all that kind of stuff. Still topless because we're scumbags. And I was sat on like the step outside.
I remember the story now.
And I had like one of those like 2-liter like jugs of water or whatever it was. And I was like sat there, and I was like, here, watch this. And I flipped it, and I was like, oh, bottle flip. Boom, landed the bottle flip. Coolest thing ever. But the entire arse of the bottle just collapsed. And like the water just came pissing out of it.
That's honestly one of my favourite memories of you, man. It's not even the fact that the bottle exploded. It's the look of just complete devastation on your face.
I spent like 15 quid on that bottle. That's why.
It was you looked so defeated. You know that way when you see like football players that have like lost the World Cup and they're just kind of looking down, hands on the knees. That is exactly how you look, just looking at the destruction in front of you of this £15 bottle that has exploded right in front of you. Oh God.
It still makes me laugh every single time I think of it, man.
Just every so often it comes into my head and I'll just text you about it. Just like it could be any time of day. Just like, here, do you remember when that bottle exploded?
That's why I thought it was the same story you were going to tell. Because I know it's always on your mind.
Always. If it's not one of those stories, I don't know what is actually on my mind. Oh God. See, that's the thing. It's like, on paper, Rainfalls hasn't done anything. But for me, mentally and spiritually, just hanging out with the guys, I always loved it when Duncan or Blanket came with us. Like that run of like 5 shows we did, 4 or 5 shows we did down south when Blanket came with us. I've never laughed so much in my entire life. That
the
guy.
shows are trash. We were
terrible.
awful, but having Blanket there definitely like it just made it nice, you know. It was just like another person
He proper
to be funny
lightens the
around.
mood. He lightens
does,
the mood a
he
lot,
does.
Blanket. Like he's definitely good for like if there's ever any tension in the van, he's always the first person to completely break that tension and just make it
100%.
fun. He's like the unofficial fifth member of Rainfalls, for sure.
He is. He texted me something the other day. It just like made me laugh so much.
The thing that I will never get out of my head is when we were in Birmingham and we were just driving through trying to find the venue and we drove past what's the name of that shop? Selfridges. We drove past Selfridges and he just turned to me and said, "Here, drink the Selfridges in there," and I completely fell apart. Oh, it always
It was Tuesday night. We were watching Bake Off, like it's Celebrity Bake Off just now for
Right.
Stand Up for Cancer. And that boy KSI was on it, like the YouTuber.
Yeah.
And like they had to make like cherry pies or something. And this boy just he fucked up. Like he was just but he took like the cake tray thing that you'd put it on when it was finished and like turned it upside down. he just texts me being like, "Why the fuck did he flip it? Literally top down a cherry pie. His laugh makes me consider swan diving off my balcony though." Oh, I was nuts. It was so funny, man.
Oh Christ, he is. He's one of the funniest guys I've ever met, and I've known Blanket for a really long time as well. But like, there was a really long period where I never spoke to him.
Yeah.
Because like he put Mac is actually singing a sonnet right now, but he put on a show for us when I was in the band before Rainfalls. He put on a show for us in Perth.
Oh God.
And it was in the back. I think I want to say it was in like the function room at the back of a pub.
Yeah, that sounds.
My memory is terrible, but I just remember it being like so uncomfortable because there was like really old white dudes like drinking in the pub, and you had to walk through to get to the function room in the back.
Was it the green room?
I don't know. I honestly can't remember.
You had to go upstairs.
No,
and then you had to
no.
walk through a pub. Oh, right, okay. That's
Nah,
a good
it wasn't
pub.
upstairs.
I played in there before. That was good fun.
Yeah. So Blanket put that show on. I met him and stuff, like hit it off with him. But then I didn't speak to him for like years. Absolute years. And then he just kind of like started showing up to Rainfall shows and stuff, and then obviously we all like started hanging out with him and he became one of our close mates. But it was just that kind of weird, like, I know you from like a past life almost, and now you're coming back in and like, oh man, I miss him so much. I've not seen him in so long. I really do.
I still have like one of his Christmas presents up to give him. I took like on Christmas Day. I ran to his house. I ran to his house on Christmas Day. Shanna was running every day in December.
Yeah.
So I was like, solidarity. I'll run on Christmas Day the same as you. So I ran from mine to Cambuslang. Well, what I thought was Cambuslang.
Jesus. Yeah, he
lives in Halfway, which is
not Cambuslang.
not a nice place. It's not nice at all. I remember running through it and I was like, "Oh Jesus Christ, how am I going to make it out of here alive?"
And this is you ran from Brigton, and that was your thought of Halfway.
Yeah, I ran from a shithole to a shithole, and his shithole was worse than mine. But I ran up there with his presents, and then a couple of days later, one actually arrived. Obviously, things were like arriving slow because Christmas time and coronavirus.
COVID,
so
yeah.
I still have it. I still
Just
have
sitting
it. It's just here.
Oh man,
Nah, he's a trooper.
he is, yeah, absolute trooper. I've got some unbelievably fond memories of us playing shows and playing away and stuff. Like, I still like. There's just the weirdest things stick out. Like that time where Jim kicked a mic stand and he thought.
And it went like straight across the room, like
He
didn't
thought it would
topple
just-
over at all.
He thought it would just fall over, and that shit levitated across the fucking room and hit the singer of another band right in the face while we were playing.
Yeah.
And I just remember turning around and looking at Jim's face, and he just had like disbelief on his face that it had actually happened. And that just sticks out. Like, there's just these weird random memories. that just
That was
stick
also
out
in
more than
Aberdeen, by the way. Every single
All of our
memory is
stories.
in Aberdeen.
anything. Maybe I've just got like a keen connection to Aberdeen because that was the show
we
where
always-
we had to drive home that night from Aberdeen. Remember we were supposed to stay there. We had to drive home because
do
Emma
remember.
got fucking blood poisoning, and I had to drive
Mhm.
home so I could get her from the hospital. Jesus.
Yeah, I remember. Wow, Aberdeen. We always went
Aberdeen.
down well in Aberdeen. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, man. And it was the thing about Aberdeen is like I feel like it's one of those places where it's just like kids just turn up, people just turn up to go to a show.
And it's
You know?
because not a lot happens, It
Yeah.
used to have a lot more happening, like you see loads of bands come from Aberdeen, but
Yeah,
but then things kind of deteriorated up there and people didn't go.
yeah,
So I think whenever something happens, everyone's like, "Oh, sick! Let's do something."
yeah. Let's go
So
to a
they'll
show.
go.
Yeah, man. I do like. There's a lot of times that we've played quite a few shows in Aberdeen, and every time I've enjoyed it. There's always some
Yeah.
stupid fucking memories come out of it, and that's all that matters. To be honest, that's
Mhm.
all that fucking matters.
It's the best. It's the best thing. Yeah, I'm glad the run we have whatever, like whether I know we've not really spoke about it or anything, but like I think we will do something
Yeah,
post this. Who knows what? But as long
Yeah.
as it's fun, I'm in.
that's all. Yeah, exactly. That's just what we're here for. It's just for a fucking stupid time and just having fun. I mean, we have like
Yeah.
a whole fucking, or at least I have a whole album worth of music written that's just kind of sitting.
Yeah.
But it's just what we do with it, and if we decide to do anything, and if Johnny or Sam want to be involved as well. Like I've not spoken to those guys about it either. It's just whether or not it'll actually be all of us doing anything, or fuck it, we'll figure it out when the time comes. But right now, it's just kind of like everyone just on pause, you know.
Exactly. We'll do something. Even if it's just go a fucking boys' holiday or something, be fine. If we play a couple of shows along the way, that'd be a laugh.
Yeah, just try and find somewhere outside of the UK, go and play. Yo, do you know that, like, I know you've found this weird obsession with Mark Robbie recently. You're absolutely in love with the guy. Do you know that dude is his net worth is $500,000?
No.
That's insane for a dude that literally streams him playing improvised
Loops.
sets, loop daddy. He's worth like $500,000. I'm just sitting in his flat in New York City. That's fucking wild.
I'm glad he's making money, because he just seems like a fun personality. I quite like that.
Yeah,
I think that's why I get suckered into people. Like, if they have like a good personality or something, I'm like, I want you to do good, so I'm gonna do everything, or like subscribe to everything you have because
yeah.
you make me laugh, and I think I'd enjoy hanging out with you.
Yeah. I mean, he's one of the most insane people ever. I mean, he has
He's
like
truly mental.
he has a thing on YouTube. I think it's his live set from Amsterdam. I think it is, and
Right.
it is the most mental thing I've ever seen. So the camera is sitting like behind him, so it's like kind of up high behind him, so you can see his full setup and you can see the whole crowd. I love that about
Wow.
like sets like that, where most of the time when
Yeah.
you see like live sets, the camera is solely pointed at the talent, at the band, at the artist. But this one is like he'll turn around every so often, he'll look at the camera, but most of the time you're looking at the back of his head, so you could just see like when he finally hits a drop or something, and you just see the whole place fucking light on fire.
Woo!
From him just hitting random things, like fucking he just finds like a glass bottle and he starts hitting it and shit. The dude is a genius, an absolute genius.
Yeah,
Mark
he's funny, man. He's real
Robbie.
funny.
He actually did an episode of The Cave with Kenny Beats. Have you watched it?
I'll need to check that. No,
It's-
I'll need to check that out. I didn't know that existed.
So good. Like he does the whole bit and they make a wee song and he goes in and he sings a wee bit, and at the end of it Kenny Beats just like pulls out a keyboard. He's like, I think we need some organ, and Mark Robbie rips out the most insane organ solo ever. To the point where they just end the episode as soon as he's finished, because it's just like, we can't do anything else now because you've just destroyed it. It's
He
so
put
good.
up a file yesterday on like a Google Drive thing, like a video that he put on his Instagram, and it was
Yeah.
just like It was like, wake the fuck up, bitch, or something. I'm trying to make it my ringtone, my alarm tone.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I just don't know how to do it. Like, I've got it on my laptop somewhere. I
Right.
just don't know how to put it on the thing. But
Yeah,
I'll
you're
work that
full-
out. I don't need you to give me like a fucking.
Oh no, I was just gonna say you're a
Troubleshoot.
granda. That's all it is. You just don't know how to work
okay.
things. You're just like, oh,
No, I
Craigie,
don't.
Craigie, can you help me with my laptop?
Craigie, son, I need some help.
Well, on that note of technical problems in Mark Rubier, I think we could probably call this a day because that's us hit an hour. Thank you
Nice.
to everyone for listening to us ramble on for another hour. This has been episode 4. I love you very much. I love Gary
I love
very
you too.
much. And
Oh, you
Yeah,
were
we'll
talking
speak-
to me. Oh, amazing.
no, I'll
Cool.
talk to you at times.
Cool. Shout out Mark Robbie. Shout out the window cleaner.
Shout out Sean
Peace
Barnes.
Big Arm Barnes. We love you.
Our Barnes.
All right, cool. Love you, man. Bye.
Love you too.